So I had a question from the other day about a guy about dating and relationships with single moms. And I found it fascinating the mindset and the mentality of some men when it comes to this topic. Because ultimately, especially in matriarchal culture, this is programmed into a lot of the men because of obviously the fathers being pushed out of the home or certain dynamics within the community and the culture. But my question to that individual is, I understand as men get older and people have had relationships. I'm 51, about to be 52 yet. All that's around me is single moms, women that have been in situations and relationships and had kids and maybe been divorced and whatever else. It is not about good or bad or good people or bad people, because there's good people in all situations, women with or without kids or men with or without kids. The point of the matter is this. My question always to the gentleman is this: why why is none of the above not an option for you in your mind? And I talk about this, taking responsibilities and taking on extra financial burdens and paying other men's debt just so you can secure some pre-owned used box or secure a relationship with somebody who has lived their life and has had kids and has produced whatever. Why is your option not none of the above? Why do you feel the necessity to build relationships with other men's kids and fork over your time, energy, attention, and resources to those kids? We're not talking about a guy who's volunteering to help kids down at the Boys and Girls Club with their artwork or their homework or tutoring or whatever else, where you help the kids at the spot and you leave and go about your life. Or if you want to donate to certain things, sometimes I've helped certain basketball programs or tutoring programs or whatever. I've done things like that in my life with my outreach work, but I'm not taking on other men's responsibilities and financial burdens by taking care of other men's children. Now, again, I'm not saying either way, left or right, but my question to men is, why is none of the above not an option for you in life? You have not developed yourself the self-esteem, the leverage, the options in life where you can say, I ain't going to do that. I'm just not going to get involved with that. Or you'll be able to deal with a woman that has kids and tell her, look, here's the deal. I'll deal with you. We can spend time together. We can chill. We can enjoy. We can travel together, whatever else. I don't want nothing to do with your kids, period. Because I raised my own kids. And I'm more concerned about my legacy, my kids, my DNA. And I'm not trying to invest in other men's kids on that level, emotionally and it's not just the money, the emotional investment. I'm not trying to do that. And still not care if that woman leaves or says kick rocks to you. And she has a right to say that. She might want a man that's going to sell. You don't have to take package deals if you have self-esteem and leverage in life. Why do you have to take a package deal? Is the fundamental point of this video. Why are you in a position in life where you have to take a package deal? What have you done wrong in your life? What type of self-esteem, what type of scarcity do you have in your mind that some woman can muscle you with some pre-owned box where you have to take a package deal of some other men's responsibilities? Granted, because you understand how life works. When you get with a woman like that, the number one priority in her life is her survival and her kids. And it's not you. Her priority is her biological kids. It's her number one priority. Why would you be investing in a situation that puts you at the bottom of the food chain? Remember, money is an extension of your hard work, labor, and your sweat, resources, and time. Nobody just be out here handing out men shit for free. You got to go out here in this world and bust your ass and earn your way in this world. No one's going to give you no free shit as you're a man. A man, your money is your blood, your sweat and tears that you put your time, effort, and energy into. You don't see women over here running around trying to give men money or take home men's kids and whatever else. I'm not knocking anybody or whatever else. I'm telling you from a logical perspective, why don't you have the leverage to say no? So I start analyzing and looking at the man himself. I'm 51 years old, about to be 52 years old. I don't do that bullshit. Okay? Whoever does it, does it. Because for me, I don't have to give up. I can take none of the above. Why do I have to give up my resources, my time, my energy? That doesn't make me a bad person because I don't want to be responsible for other men's kids. I don't go around paying other men's debts. Do women come out here paying off your debts? Taking care of your kids? No, you got to go out here and bust your ass and work. Ain't nobody coming to save you and your kid, pay for your kids and mentor your kids or whatever else. They're not going to do that because women are smart. They take care of themselves. And they ain't got no qualms about telling you what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. They're smart. They're self-preservative. And that's why I always go after this altruism thing. Altruism. And the programmed altruism that men, especially in certain communities, matriarchal community, and men in the West in general, get brainwashed into believe that, and again, a lot of that is motivated by the desire for a box, pre-owned, 20 times more testosterone than a woman. And they think that they need to lock down and secure a woman in that scarcity mentality. And why can't you live on your own? Why can't you fall in love with the man in the mirror? What type of attachment things that you have in your life where you cannot be alone? You have to take a bad deal over. Why do you hate your company so much that you have to take a bad deal over being alone and in peace just to secure in your mind be in proximity to, or to have a woman underneath the roof with you, where you have access to that pre-owned box, where you give up your resources, your time, your energy, your peace. And most of the time, sometimes, and not often, there's some good kids that are raised in this situation. That kid's going to give you a middle finger because they're always going to default to their dad or their parent, their biological parent. And you've invested time, energy, and resources. If that relationship ends, that money ain't coming back to you. That money could have been invested in an ETF or an index fund or something that's going to get you a return for your life, where you can pass on to your biological kids, or you can use that money to fund the education, the future of your family. There's many kids, your sister's kids. You might want to pay the tuition for your nephew or your niece or other kids in your family that you can fund with that money. At least it's pushing the agenda and the issues and the efforts. You're pushing your DNA to become successful in this world. Those money can be invested in your family, passed on to your kids and your grandkids. Maybe you want to send your grandkid to a private school or get them a good education or training program or whatever else. But it's being invested in your DNA. And a lot of men don't think like that. So I always ask the simple question, why do you feel that you have to do that? Just so you can't tell a single mom, and she can tell you to kick rocks. Look, me and you could deal with each other, but that's it. I don't need to be around your kids, meet your kids, or build any relationship with your kids. And you can take it or leave it. Why do you care if she said kick rocks? I'm gonna get another man. Why are you so weak that you can't walk away from that situation and say, then this is what we talk about men pouring into themselves and building the mental. It's the mental self-esteem and the confidence in your own mind to not take bad deals. Not take bad deals. Why are you taking do women go around here taking bad deals like that? You see women going around here with these, they obviously, when they get with certain individuals when they're younger, that's something totally different conversation. But when they get older, especially over 30, you don't see them running around. A woman with no kids at 32, many times, unless it's a higher ranking guy that has kids, they're not going around looking to go take care of other men's kids. And even if they're in a house with other men's kids that are not theirs, them kids be treated like some stepchild. The stepchild treatment for many of those women. And you guys know what I'm talking about. It ain't their kid. And especially if they have kids from a prior relationship, they're going to prioritize their kids over your kids. And you know the deal with that. I've seen that happen and that play out many times. Because they're smart. They take care of them. They look out for them. And they put their self first. Why can't you put yourself first? Is the question that I always ask men. Why are you still living in this altruistic bubble that they programmed you to be in. Why can't you get out of it yourself? Because nobody else is coming to save you. Nobody's coming to help you. And then that's why I always tell guys, nobody's going to take care of you like you. Nobody's going to do that. These guys and all these people that are preaching this altruistic shit, that are telling guys to get into these legal situations that are binding, like the Boyce Watkins of the world, become a bonus father and all this other shit. And none of these dudes is going to write you a check. None of these dudes are going to bail you out. None of these dudes are going to come looking for you when you go through divorces or whatever else. None of these dudes are going to lend you $1. See, a peaceful life exists in the real world. And in the real world, outside, in the Serengeti, in the real world, nobody got no empathy, compassion, or no pity for men. And when you look back and say, I've lost, all this thousands and thousands of dollars that I could have invested in some index funds or some ETFs or something that's going to give me residual income and that's going to benefit and build my wealth or build my whatever. I can take that money and reinvest in my own family and do the things with that money that benefits my life, maybe have a more comfortable retirement, maybe live early retirement. And I gave that all up to secure some single mommy and other men's kids so that I can secure me some pre-owned box. Because my self-esteem is in the damn toilets and I have a scarcity mentality, thinking that I have to take this deal or nothing else. I'd rather be alone, peaceful, happy with my money and deal with them chicks from across town than to give up all of my resources to be in that situation that absolutely disadvantaged me and disadvantaged the future generations of the kids that have my DNA or the ones that are surrounding me that are part of my sisters or my brother's kids or anybody else. Damn that. Was it, well, having a peaceful life. Well, I'll just take that money and peaceful life goes to the grave and pass that on to my siblings so they can invest that in the kids around that are my DNA. There's nothing wrong with that, gentlemen. That's the way our world has worked. Civilizations has worked that way. You pass on wealth and you pass on resources, generational wealth to your DNA, not other men's kids. This is a goofy utopian world that we've created, and especially in many, I'm not a political person, these liberal, single moms generated, that's dysfunctional culture, period. That's matriarchal dysfunctional culture where you run around here taking care of other men's kids. We're not talking about your brother passed away or somebody in your family passed away and you're taking on your sister's kids or whatever else. You're talking about strangers' responsibilities. Totally different world. And the mindset itself is upside down and backwards. And we're in this society itself where you only see men as utilities and disposable tampons to be used and as resources, and it's that stepdaddy shit and all this other crap to just be used as some kind of noble thing to be out here paying other men's debt. And that makes you a man. That don't make you a man in this reality, in this modern age. That don't make you a man. What makes you a man is taking care of yourself and your responsibility and being squared away and caring for those that, especially that you brought into this world, or the people that are under your leadership, under your care, that you have a obligation to, but not taking on other men's responsibility. That doesn't make you a man. In many instances, it makes you a fool. Especially when these guys are the only reason why some men are doing that, many men are doing that, it ain't about love. It's about a scarcity mentality, and it's about box. You are whooped. You cannot say, you don't have the power or the mental strength or the self-esteem to walk away because your life is controlled by box. And this is one of the only times I'm gonna say, build some discipline, build some strength, learn your mind, your body, your spiritual, everything about your life is controlled by pre-owned box. And that's why they're able to muscle you into making decisions and taking deals that don't work for what's best for you and the future of the individuals that you've brought into the world or people that are part of your DNA or part of your family. That's just my take on it. Why is none of the above not an option or a conclusion that you've had? And that's what the problem is. We have a different problem with people. Men have got to get comfortable. And again, a man who doesn't like being alone hates his own company. And I teach men to fall in love with your own company and to have your purpose, your hobbies, your missions in life. You're the same whether you're with a woman or without a woman. A peaceful life moves the same way whether I'm in a relationship or not, in terms of how I take care of myself, how I move, my ambitions. My whole existence is not based upon whether I'm in a relationship. How I move is how I move, period. It ain't based upon having a woman or a relationship. I'm gonna be squared away when I'm in a relationship. I'm gonna be squared away when I'm alone. That's not affected by a woman. That's some jellyback simp shit. When I hear men, well, a woman did this, and I did this because of a woman, and the woman is inspired. You are not inspired by your own preservation and your own excellence as a human being. Why are you need women to inspire you when you should be getting that shit from yourself or from the people who raised you? Anyhow, peace and blessings. You can get it. You're certainly gonna get it from me. Again, my thing is about men being born again masculine, living in their masculinity, getting rid of this scarcity mindset and the virus itself of low self-esteem, and getting rid of this altruistic bullshit and resisting the social programming that tries to put men or make men into these disposable tampons only for the benefit of others. Because every time they talk about you, it's about what you need to be doing for everybody else. Peace and blessings to you guys. Make sure you hit the like button. I'm out. I got to take my ass to the gym talking all this crap. Peace.